Welcome, you guys. This is Discover Las Vegas. I am Priscilla Scott, Recreation Coordinator with the City of Las Vegas. I run the Becker Tech Center, and we're really excited for our episode today. We're joined by some incredible men here with me today. I will start with you, Councilman, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure, of course. Thank you, Priscilla. I am Cedric Crear. I am the Las Vegas City Councilman for the fabulous Ward 5, where this facility is located. Just so happy to be here. Like, this facility was thought about, it was planned, it was shopped around, and lo and behold, here we are recording a podcast in this facility. You know, we started it with the impetus that this area was in a hot zone, it was called. Metro thought a lot of petty crimes. You got a lot of young kids who had a lot of idle time, a lot of break-ins, a lot of broken windows. And we realized that there was no place for our youth to go. And then we realized the fact that we need a technical side of it, because that's where the youth are getting information, that's where they're going, but also maintain the recreational side of it. So hence, the Becker Technical Recreation Park. And, you know, Priscilla, I told you this. I think this is going to be the way that we see parks moving forward as we develop parks and redevelop parks throughout the course of the city. And I think it's going to catch fire, and you'll see this model being recreated throughout the entire country.
I agree with you. We get a lot of traction from agencies across the country that love our model.
Yeah.
And they're constantly like, what are you guys doing? What's your programming? Can we come take a tour? And it's... So traditional recreation centers, where we struggle the most is our teen programming, because by the time they're a little bit more independent, they don't want to be in a safe and supervised environment. They want to be free.
Yeah.
And we don't struggle with that demographic. Like, that's our highest demographic here at Becker Tech is the youth, middle school and high school population. We can't get enough of them. Like, they're always here, which I kind of like because they keep us young. Definitely keep us trendy. I say I'm like an old soul, so I'm like 75 in soul years, but they like bring me down, you know.
Yeah.
So.
You know, it's great. I got to thank the mayor, Mayor Goodman, my colleagues on council, our Parks and Rec team, our city manager, for really helping us create this vision. And then I got to thank them for bringing you here, Priscilla, because you're the champion. You are the glue that makes everything stick and keeps this place running. So we really appreciate you. And we're here for a very, very special day. Today, we have some very, very special guests. Many of you might know that I'm born and raised here in Las Vegas. I grew up right down the street, graduated from high school, and I went off to a school in Washington, D.C., which is called Howard University, a.k.a. the Mecca. And I played tennis there. I was on a scholarship there. I met my wife there. My daughter graduated from Howard as well, who's now in New York, School of Business. And so Howard, we say, you know, we bleed blue. And we're very, very special to have the Howard University men's basketball team here today at the park. They have a basketball game tomorrow. They also have one on Sunday. And they are here taking time out of their busy schedules to come hang out with us and to experience this beautiful facility. We have the coach who is here, Coach Blakeney, who is here with us, and he is fantastic. We have all the team that are here. Coach, welcome, man, to Las Vegas. Welcome to the Becker Tech Park, and we're just so happy to have you and the team here. Tell us how you guys got out here and what's going on campus.
Well, firstly, we are so excited to be here, and thank you so much for the hospitality. Being here in Las Vegas, being here at this facility is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. So for the young men and women of this community to have a facility like this, it's truly special, and I think such a blessing for this community. We are here for the Chris Paul HBCU Challenge, and for HBCU teams across the country, us, Howard University, Jackson State, that's our opponent tomorrow night. We have North Carolina A&T, and also Texas Southern.
Okay.
So really excited that Chris Paul thought about us, our universities, and allowed this tournament to take place and us to be a part of it, and looking forward to competing over the next a couple days on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I tell you, to bring HBCUs to the forefront and bring a shine of light on them is so important, especially with the platform that Chris has. He has been a staunch supporter. You've seen him walking around. He's got his HBCU gear on when he's going into the games, and he has just been someone that just loves HBCUs and has been supporting it. And so we thank him for that. Vegas, man, what do you think? You've been to Vegas before, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah. Now, you played ball, right?
I did.
Where'd you play?
Played at Duke University.
Duke. Hold on. Where is Duke? Duke.
A little small school in North Carolina.
UNLV beat Duke
Ooh.
in the NCAA finals the first year, and then we're not going to talk about the second year.
That was such a loaded setup question.
We're not going to talk about the second year. But we did beat them. So Duke, man. So you played ball at Duke.
Absolutely.
What'd you play?
I was a point guard, combo guard.
Combo guard.
Yeah.
So you can shoot. You can handle. You had some handles.
I could shoot when the coach let me shoot.
Coach K was your coach.
Coach K was our coach.
So how was it like playing with a legend like Coach K, and how was it like playing at a place like Duke? I had the pleasure of going to a Duke game one time while I was there. My daughter's soccer team in Raleigh. It's small. Was it Cameron Indoor?
Yes, sir.
Right. It's a small facility. It doesn't seem like they wanted to grow into something. I'm sure they could probably build whatever they want to build, but it was home, right? How was it playing there?
Well, it's unbelievable. And firstly, it's more like supply and demand. Duke can certainly build a 17,000-seat arena and sell that out, but it's such an intimate place that is intimidating and gives our program a great home court advantage that I don't think they'll ever change it.
Yeah.
It is Jelani Williams that will be on in a second talks about the Palestra as the cathedral, and it's truly one of those historic, probably top 5 arenas in the country that I think everybody should take a look at. But playing for Coach K was incredible.
Yeah, look, my tickets, when I got tickets to the game, I happened to get seats with the Cameron Crazies. And so I was standing up there jumping up and down like I was 19 years old once again. But I had a great time. But I tell you, the experience at Burr is pretty hot too. We used to, when I was at Howard, man, you would go to the basketball games and you had to bring a towel with you when you were in the stands because the players are down on the court sweating, and we was up in the stands getting it on. And the band was up there playing, doing their thing. It was as small as Burr is. We used to rock it, man. Still like that?
It is still like that.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want it to change.
Yeah.
I think for us, Burr Gymnasium is a little bit of our Cameron Indoor Stadium and gives us a great home court advantage. With the calendar year just ending, we finished with an 11-1 record for the year, which we're very proud of.
Yeah, how about that, man? Mecca basketball is on the map. We're proud of you. I know all of us alum are real happy with what y'all are doing. The football team is playing in a bowl this tomorrow. They're playing FAM and down in Atlanta. Let's go Bison. Let's knock it out. We can't let FAM beat us on a bowl game. Come on now. I need to talk more stuff because I got friends that went to FAM, and I'm already talking a lot of stuff already because I know we're going to win. Hey, let me ask you a question, Coach. Your experience in being a student athlete, how do you think it's helped you in being a coach now? It's important, you think, from going through walking the same shoes that these kids have walked through, that you've walked through, and you can share that with them? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the experiences are so similar, even though the times are different. The general human experience is still the same.
Yeah.
Right? Being able to time management.
Yeah.
Which is so important, being a student athlete.
It is.
The trials and tribulations of things that go on daily with, success and failure. Having to, deal with, situations on campus, socially, they're all still the same. People are people, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Is there a player that you see yourself in?
On our team?
Uh-oh.
That is a little bit. I think it's. I see a lot of myself in all of our players. There's bits and pieces that I see, and I kind of genuinely keep that close to my heart. But our guys are super. I wouldn't trade our guys for the world, and that's so cool and so neat about our program and our university that we have young men that are there for a great educational and Howard experience.
That's great. Now, we are blessed to have two of the team members from Howard here with us. The other team are literally next door involved in an esports tournament right now, or some of them are at a 3D printing room. Do me a favor, introduce our young adults, our student athletes, and let's find out who they are.
Sure. So we have sophomore Shaheem Odom from Roxbury, Massachusetts. And Shaheem spent his last 2 years of high school at the famed Sierra Canyon out in California. Shaheem was the Rookie of the Year in the MEAC.
Nice.
He was voted preseason most valuable player of our league for this year and was the conference MVP. Shy at one point in time was as highly ranked as top 25 in the country.
Nice.
So we're very fortunate to have Shaheem. Shy wanted to be at Howard and to bring light to HBCUs. So we're truly thrilled to have Shy on our team. And we have Jelani Williams, who's a grad student. Jelani did his undergraduate at University of Penn and is doing his master's in finance.
Okay.
And Jelani is truly going to be a rock star with whatever he does. He has an incredible personality. It's he walks in a room and lights it up everywhere he goes, and it was so neat. We just played UPenn the other day, which took him home, and just as the reception and just to see how people gravitated to him from his time that he spent there. He is truly a special person, and I think if he wants to be a general manager in the NBA one day, that is a job that he will surely have.
Well, look, man, that is awesome. Seems like both you guys are really kicking butt. Shy, tell me something, man. Tell me something about yourself, brother. Roxbury. Now, who's famous from Roxbury?
What's it called? New Edition?
See, you realize I was a test.
Yeah,
you realize that I knew
I was ready
the answer
for
to the question.
I was ready for it.
I was testing you.
I was ready for
now,
it.
for you to sit back and say,
I know anything about
I think New Edition. My brother's in the room here, and he manages music artists, manages Tony Braxton. His man manages New Edition. They're great. They got a residency here in Vegas, man. It's already sold out over at the Wynn. Come on, man. New Edition.
Yeah. I'm not super familiar, but I know that they're from. I know that they're from where I'm from.
Can we please edit that out of this podcast? Is there a possibility to go back and rewind that? Because the man just said he's from Roxbury. He's not too familiar with New Edition. Coach, I'm gonna tell you something, Coach. You got work to do. Well, you guys are 11-1, but hold on now.
That's why he's at Howard.
Yeah, man. So it's good. So congratulations, man. Welcome to you from Roxbury. You are balling out. And what made you choose Howard?
Just like what Coach said, bringing light to HBCUs and stuff like that. A lot of people kind of gave up on me after my last 2 years of high school. I got hurt, and I was on the search for schools and people who really wanted me, and I got into contacts with Coach Kenny. We started talking a lot, and we resonated with each other with injuries that we've had in the past and just likewise mindsets. And I think that's what made me gravitate towards Howard. And I went for a visit, got a chance to actually, sit down and conversate with him and some of the guys that were at the school, and it was a great place, and they've welcomed me in and made me feel like family.
That's beautiful, man. So what are you studying?
I'm studying sports management.
Sports management. Is that an SOB, School of Business?
Nah.
Or where is it?
It used to be, though. But
it used to be, right. So what college is that at? Liberal Arts?
In College of Sports and...
So there's a college?
Arts and Science.
Arts and Science.
Yes.
Okay. Very, very cool. How's it going to school?
It's nice.
Yeah? What year are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay. I got a daughter who's a sophomore at Penn State, and you guys are hold on. We got to get it right. You're a rising sophomore, right? Don't you have to say rising nowadays? Is that the thing? Rising sophomore, rising junior. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, but you're a sophomore sports management, man. So you're balling. If you had to pick a field outside of going to the NBA and balling, outside of that, sports management, something you want to get into?
Yes, sports management, just anything involved with basketball. I just want to be around the game for a long time, whether it be managing players, whether it be managing facilities or teams. One of those, I just think basketball, me and basketball are connected, and it's done a lot for me in my life, and I want to give it back to the game as well.
Yeah, look, it's a big film. My brother does some consulting with MGM Resorts. Also, we have a G League team here, the Ignite, that's here, and he's cool with the general manager G League. A good friend of mine, Perry Rogers, who lives here. I grew up with, born and raised here in Las Vegas. He used to manage Andre Agassi for a long time, and he's now Shaq's agent, and also Jason Tatum's agent, who plays for the Celtics. And so it's possible. I mean, Coach Kenny knows everybody in the industry. And I'm sure you'll have access to a lot of different things and take advantage of them.
Of course.
You know what I mean? You meet people, take advantage of it, talk to them, get their cards, follow up with them. And I think you can do whatever you want to do.
For sure.
In the field. So tomorrow, got a game?
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm
Jackson
ready.
State?
Jackson State.
Okay. Jackson State got on the map with Dion.
Absolutely.
And then he left them. But that's a different. but that's a different podcast, Coach. Different podcast. Jelani, what's up with you, man? Tell us something about you, brother.
What's going on? First, thank you guys for having me. It's great to be in Vegas. I've never been here in the winter before.
Summertime, you been there?
Yeah, I was here.
Family?
I was here over the summer for summer league.
Kind of cold.
Oh, okay. You were here for summer league.
I did a sports business classroom program where I kind of learned the business of basketball. But yes, it's a lot cooler here now.
Yeah,
that's been different.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Coach said, I'm from D.C., DMV area. Went to Sidwell Friends for high school. Graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in 2020.
UPenn, Ivy League.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's special.
Yeah. So, and now I'm at Howard getting my master's in finance, captain of the basketball team here, and hoping to get back to the tournament and get a tournament win. So
that's awesome, brother. Look, being captain of the team, I was captain of the Howard tennis team, and the significance of that is, I'm assuming that it's the same way, Coach. And when I was playing tennis, your team members were the ones that selected who the captain is, right? It wasn't the coach that said, you're going to be the captain. The team came together and said, we want you to be a captain. Is that how it goes nowadays still?
Yep.
Yeah. So, what does that mean to you to be the captain and have your colleagues and your peers look to you to be the leader of the team?
It means a lot. Quick thing about me, this is actually my 7th year of college. I had 3 ACL surgeries in my first 3 years of college, and then I missed what would have been my 4th year at Penn.
Did you ever play at Penn?
I played 1 year.
1 year, okay.
5th year. Because my 4th year got canceled because of COVID. So being just an older guy, being able to mentor some of these younger guys, that's a really special opportunity for me. And I also see kind of being a captain as sort of like a gatekeeper of culture. And so being able to be at the program that Coach Blakeney has been building before I got here and kind of help elevate it, but also teach the younger guys about what's important about being a Howard basketball player, being a Howard man, and helping him gatekeep our culture has been important to me.
That's pretty cool. I'm sure you had a lot of opportunities to go to different schools. Did you have to get an exemption to play because of COVID to have another year, or was it just a seamless process? Is that how it goes nowadays, Coach? Did you with a player who have played and got exempt from COVID or had some ACL issues or injuries, do they get an automatic extension of the year? Or how does that work?
Yeah, it's been such a challenging kind of period with COVID. Jelani's situation is so unique where he had 3 ACLs, 2 of them while you were at UPenn. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And missing 3 years of eligibility. The NCAA definitely wants to be fair and make sure that he gets an opportunity to participate in with the years that he's missed to make those years up as long as he wants to continue to play. But with COVID added in it, there's certainly been another layer of, granted eligibility-wise that student athletes have been given as well.
That's pretty cool. So you had options, I'm sure, to go do some things, maybe go out in the work world and work a little bit, then come back and get your MBA?
Master's in finance.
Master's in finance, okay. That's big time, man. So what's your goal?
First to graduate. That's important.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
But like Coach kind of hinted at a little bit, I want to get into work in the NBA, in the front office. Eventually, I want to be, a GM, do a good job there. Maybe, commissioner. I'll speak that into existence.
Okay.
But
commissioner.
Those are a little further down the line goals.
Heard it here first.
Heard it here first. I agree. Priscilla, tell us about it right here.
But yeah, I think I just want to be around basketball. I love basketball. I've been around a lot of winning. And so the idea of being able to, create a roster or build a team and build, sort of a program that can win and have sustained success is something that I'm interested in.
So let me ask you, what do you think, both of y'all, what's the toughest part of being a student athlete?
Time management, I think, is one. You know, being on a college campus, there's so many different things you can gravitate to. You know, for one, you have your schoolwork, but then there's also extracurricular things. You might want to be in Greek life. You might want to do, you know, a club on campus or something like that. So being able to manage, you know, school, extracurricular, your social life, and then also being on the basketball team, which is, you know, really a full-time job.
It is.
You know, we get up early in the mornings in practice, and then we have lift, and then you got to take care of your body, and you got to eat, and you got to go to class. And so just, you know, managing all of those things and still having time for yourself and taking care of yourself, I think that's, you know, probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah. How about you?
I was definitely going to say time management too. There's a lot that falls under that umbrella, such as travel. You know, we travel a lot, and we got guys who aren't able to do certain things while we're traveling because they got finals to take or, you know, last-minute papers to write. And currently, I'm not doing any finals, so I'm glad I got that out the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, time management. You know, distractions. There's a lot of stuff. You know, around Howard campus, you could get distracted in, and you know, fall into that area. And you just got to do a good job of just being disciplined and knowing your priorities.
Yeah. I would say time management too. I tell kids all the time, Coach, that want to go play college sports, or that we're going to play college sports, is that it's the gift and the curse of being an athlete, because you don't have time to mess around, which keeps you focused if you do it right. But you aren't like a regular student, right? My daughter's at school. She gets out of class, whether she has a class today, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Her whole day is set for her if she wants to go start studying at the library, do things. As we know, as student athletes, your day is just getting going. Like you said, you wake up in the morning, you got to do, we'd be out there running at 5 o'clock in the morning for trying to, get in shape, running up Georgia Avenue, up that hill. I don't know if y'all do that, going back behind Capitol and running up Georgia, cold in the morning. But then your days you start, you got to get to the training room if you got to get taped. You got to be on the court by, let's say, 3. For us, it was 3 o'clock, and we practiced until about 6:45, and the calf closed at 7.
Yeah, still does.
It still closed at 7. Yeah, you know that, right? So I know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And so Coach is like pushing you to the last possible minute that you have to run to the calf. If you're on a meal plan, you get to the calf, you eat. Then by the time you get back to your dorm, you got to shower, and then you got to start studying. So it's what, 8:30, 9. That's when you're starting studying. Then you got to start over the next day. Challenges, Coach?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, the whole day is very challenging.
Yeah.
I really give our student athletes a lot of props, and the way that we have to conduct our day, now having graduate students in our program, because undergraduate time schedules are a little bit different than graduate time schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So we practice actually at 7 o'clock in the morning, and
on a regular basis, practice for the men's basketball team is 7 o'clock in the morning.
Howard
7 to win.
7 to about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So we're in hour and a half, maybe 2 hours max, and we're done. So then, our young guys can shower up, they can get to breakfast, get to their class, and kind of start their day a little bit and be done with that part of basketball.
I'd like that better.
Yeah.
You probably don't think about it when you're younger. You're like, I got to be up at 6:30 and get to practice. You're like, oh, my God. But as you get older, I'm up at 5:30, 6 every morning. So for me, that would have been great. Practice at 7 to 8:39, and you're done. You can do your thing. Oh, that would have been beautiful.
But in addition to the challenges of being a student athlete, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being in the limelight and at an HBCU. So can you guys talk a little bit about some of the responsibilities that you feel in representing not just the university, but a whole demographic of individuals that are seeking a better life?
I would say, just knowing that there could always be anybody walking Howard campus. So putting on your best face and always representing the Howard brand well is something that you always have to do, being in that spotlight, or something that I always try to do. You never know who you will meet walking through the yard or walking down Georgia Avenue, or, and that's something that I really, take pride in.
Yeah, I think along the lines of what Shai said, I think one, it's important to understand like what we represent. We walk around campus with our gear on, and everybody comes to the game, so they know who the basketball players are. But I think one thing that's kind of stuck with me since we got here is something Coach says a lot about making sure you hold doors for people or say thank you at the calf or learn the names of the janitors and different things like that. That's something that he really stresses to us. So it kind of comes second nature, honestly, because of some of the culture that he imparts on us.
Do you guys do a lot of interaction with like the local youth or any of the Parks and Rec agencies out in the Howard vicinity?
Yeah, we definitely do. One of the things that we talk about with our program is that we want our young men to have experiences in an education that's outside the gates of Howard. So last year we worked exclusively with Black Maternal Health, an idea that Jelani came up with that ended up igniting and going global. In such a way where all the female ambassadors from all over the world honored our team by recognizing us for our work that we did with Black Maternal Health. Planned Parenthood also recognized us. Vice President Kamala Harris had us along with some of the things that she's done in that space several times last year. So that part of our basketball program is truly, truly strong, and we're very proud of that. Because, like I said, it allows our young men, and being in Washington, D.C., so close to the White House, Capitol Hill, but also having local young men on our team, it's really important for us to be visible in the community and to give our student athletes that type of educational experience that really, I think, adds value to them as men. I joke all the time, and I was dead serious, that I don't think we won the championship last year if we don't have the Black Maternal Health Initiative project that we worked on, because our young men had to take it so seriously before we got out to the public to present it, that I think it just made us a little bit more mature in the way that we did things on the court and off.
Yeah, that's amazing, because a lot of times it's not just, it's great and all of the education that it affords the team, but for our communities, what we've seen in the Parks and Recreation world is that for the kids to be able to see where they could go, especially in communities that are underserved, and to see someone who looks like them and talks like them go so far is a big deal. I was talking to my son yesterday, and I was explaining to him about you guys all joining us, and he's like, Mom, they're on TV. Like, he was so absolutely excited just because he saw you guys as like these huge heroes out in the community. And so it's always impactful when we have the kids in the community interact with our student athletes and coaches, especially with such a prestigious name as Howard University.
Yeah, Priscilla, I always say that we have to instill vision into our young kids, because if they can't see themselves going someplace, then they're never going to get there. We've had kids that have never been out of their 2-3 square mile radius of their environment, and for them to even go across town is a big deal. We take the 3 busloads of kids from here, from our community. We take them to Utah, to Zion National Park, and we spend a full day with them. They deal with the Rangers. They go in the park. They have lunch for them. And when you drive from Vegas to Utah, there's a small little section. You go from Vegas, you go through Arizona a little bit, through the canyon, you come out in Utah. And I get on the bus and I say to the kids, so today we're going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to go to Arizona. We're going to go to Utah. And the kids are like, hold on, say what now? I'm going to be in 3 places? How is that possible? And we go through it, and it's the best thing. So we have to instill vision. You fellas are role models. Right? Whether you think so or not, people see you. They see you in your gear. Like you said, when you did the Brand Jordan deal, everybody was trying to get the Brand Jordan stuff with the Howard on it, right? And you couldn't get it. Y'all come walking through with the Brand Jordan stuff, looking all like, where you going on, man? Where you get that from? Where you get that? And people look at you. And so you're right. You do got to hold your head up high and hold yourself up high. And then it's Howard, right? So talk to me a little bit about Howard itself. What does that mean to you and the experiencing that you're experiencing being on Howard's campus. And I'm gonna get you second, John, because you've been on UPenn, and I want to understand the dynamic of UPenn versus being on Howard.
Well, for me, for my first 2 years here, it's just been an amazing experience as a player and as just a student. I have a lot of friends outside of basketball that I could talk to, about school. We study together. They help me in class, and that's one of the biggest things. I want to use Howard to network and build relationships now that'll last forever, and not just with my teammates, with people outside, because those are gonna be the people who are the next, CEOs and councilmen, just like yourself.
Thanks. When your high school in Roxbury, was it predominantly white, predominantly black?
So I was in private school.
Okay.
Mostly all my life.
Okay.
I started at a very prestigious school called the Fessenden School in Newton, Massachusetts, all boys school, and then I did my freshman year at Beaver Country Day.
Okay.
And then I transferred out to California at Sierra Canyon.
Okay.
For my last 3 years.
Okay.
So yes, it was predominantly white for most of my life, and it was definitely different. I had a lot of wealthy friends. They always, whenever I went over to their house, they didn't have to do the same things I did at home. They didn't have to take care of their laundry on their own or wash their dishes on their own, and that's the stuff that I had to do at home, my own chores and stuff like that. So it's just a different. And here at Howard, I come here and I connect with some of those people a little bit more because they lived kind of like the same life that I lived.
But it's great to be on Howard's campus and see Black excellence
Sure.
every day, right? And then you see young folk like yourselves that are working to change the world. And I think you see it from a different lens than you may when you were in your high school or I went to a predominantly white high school here and then landed on Howard's campus. Walking into McDonald's, everybody black. Walking to Student Union, everybody in there in D.C., the Chocolate City itself. Gives you a different perspective, and it's awesome to see folk who are changing the world. I mean, people that I went to school with. I mean, Dr. Fredericks, who's the former president of UNLV. Of Howard, was at school with me. He was a manager of the soccer team, and he was a president now. Howard. Now we have Dr. Vincent, who just came in. But people see greatness every day, and they're trying to change the world.
Sure.
Johnny, talk to me about Howard, man, and talk to me about the experience you have, the difference between UPenn coming on Howard. I mean, you're from D.C., so you knew about Howard going into it, right? Sidwell friends, right? So it wasn't new to you.
Yeah, Howard's a really special place, in short. I think for me, one of the reasons I chose Howard was to have a different experience. So I'll start, Sidwell friends in D.C., one of the best high schools in the country. You got politicians' kids and CEOs' kids of Fortune 500 companies, that kind of thing.
The Palmer's kids go to Sidwell friends?
They did, yes.
Oh, look at you, tall cotton. That's right. Were they in school with you? Were you there the same time they were there?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, so being in that type of environment where, it's majority white kids, majority wealthy kids, and then going to Penn where it's a very similar place. It's a lot bigger. But in terms of just having a black population in them type of schools, like, you see black excellence because it's like, all right, if you're here and you're black, like, you must be great at something, whether it's, in the classroom, extracurricular, athletically, like, whatever it is, you're exceptional. And that was something that was like, okay, that's cool. I've met, some diamonds in the rough, for lack of a better term. But then when you come to a place like Howard, it's like black excellence is everywhere, like you said, like, being on campus and you meet kids that are artists, that are entrepreneurs, that are engineers, kids in the med school. You got, a teammate of ours that's in the law school. Like, just being surrounded by, the concentration of black kids that are doing great things is like something that's really special to me and something that, I'm trying to take advantage of while I'm still here. Meet as many people as possible, create genuine connections. Because I've been in those, other schools where I understand the power of connections and understand where, these kids are going to end up. So having the opportunity to sort of expand my network with black people that are going to be doing some of the same things is really important.
Yeah, I always thought it was cool when you go to class and your teachers are teaching you about history, or they're teaching you about things, but they also have a way to tie back into how it's viewed by black folk and how the society views and et cetera, and sort of ties back in, which you wouldn't get if you were at any other campus. And that experience, I think, really molds you when you see people who are literally fighting the cause. You know, when I was at Howard, the students shut down the A building because they didn't feel things are going right. I know there was some protests going on in the last couple of years. Even my daughter was there on her tail end because they demanded more and they wanted some things that wasn't happening. And they in Howard, they spoke up and they spoke out. And I concur with them. And I remember it was a snowy day when they took over to A building. I was in Cook looking out. I was like, what they doing down there? And took over their building. The next thing you know, it was on the news, and it was a big deal. But Howard instills that in you. I think it instills that fight in you as well, to stand up for equality, to stand up for what is right, and don't be silenced, because silence can sometimes make you complicit. And so you got to stand up and fight for what's right. And Howard definitely is the core of that. You know, with such a STEAM alumni base. And, Coach, it's got to be a little bit different experience for you coming over to Howard, too, and coaching and coming from where you've come. Where are some of the other places where you coach and now coming into Howard and seeing how that has changed things for you?
Well, the last two places I was before Howard was Columbia University in New York City and Harvard. So having a chance to be at the Mecca is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Yes.
And that's you know, something that we should be proud of, to know the legacy of Howard and the history of Howard, the tradition, to understand that Howard produces more, you know, black MDs than any other place in the country, more black PhDs. It's a place that, you know, when I was at Harvard, I got so entrenched in seeing young people trying to be the next president of the United States, the next, you know, Fortune 500 CEO, the next hedge fund manager, the next, you know, Facebook creator, and walking around Howard's campus that's all you see. You know, we have that. We have the first black Supreme Court justice, the first black vice president of the United States, the first black
all out of Howard
mayor of New York City, the first black governor of Virginia. You know, we have, you know, sitting right beside a brilliant mind right now that has an incredibly bright future.
Thank you.
Here in Vegas and globally with that. So I just love the fact that, you know, I get to see young black faces, people that look like me, people that grew up in situations like I grew up, really just trying to kill it on a level.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, because they're trying to kill it. Like, you're just not trying to go out and get your job, and like, you're trying to really, like, you're trying to do it.
Trying to go forward,
and,
all of it.
Yeah, you turn to the left, and your peer next to you is trying to do it. They're trying to kill it. They're trying to not just go work at so-and-so. They're trying to get their own product line. They're trying to get their own thing, and it's pretty cool to see that determination. I think it inspires you as well, right? When you see that, you say to yourself, like, there's a level of, sometimes people get jealous of success, Priscilla, but I think at Howard, they inspire you to do better because you see it and you say, okay, how do I go out and get mine? Right? Versus, I want you to do good too, but I want to do a little bit better than you. It's like your brother. I want to do good, but I want to do a little bit better than you. And
healthy competition.
Healthy competition. And the Howard community sticks together no matter what. You know, we hosted out here last year, 2 years ago, alternative spring break from Howard. And we had a number, we probably had, I think, 30, 40 kids that came out for our tournament spring break, and they did it in Vegas, right? So tournament spring break is where kids don't go to a typical spring break. They don't go down to Florida. They go down to hang out at the beach and do that thing. They go and do service projects throughout the country, throughout the world, actually. I think they had people in different parts of the country. And so this cohort of kids came out to Las Vegas, and they stayed at the Rio Hotel. We went out and went to dinner with them. And we set up some projects for them to come into some parks or cleanups, to plant trees, do all types of service things throughout that week. And it's great to see those kids and see them, you know, really wanting to try to change the world and change the landscape. And I just saw one of the kids, Evan, I got an email and I saw his picture, but he just got awarded some major award to go study. And so good that the school sent out the email to the alumni base with his picture on it. And he was one of the kids who was part of the alternative spring break, right? Once again, changing the world.
So I have a final question for you, gentlemen.
I'm a Cancer.
I
like red wine, Kitty G.
Don't worry. I'm sure Harry can give us all your list of likes and dislikes. But one of the big things is that we do here at Becker is we have a huge population, predominantly young men. Mm-hmm. Most of them are between the ages of like 13 and 17. So if you could go back, what advice would you give to a young man of color that is in that 13 to 17?
Let's start with the young bucks. See what they say.
I needed a little bit more time. But shoot, what would I tell myself? I would just tell myself to really just stay focused, and to surround myself around the people who have goals as well. Because coming from a place like Roxbury, I've seen a lot of my friends stay around the same friends and stay at the same place. And they haven't elevated or rised anywhere, but the ones I've been around have elevated in what they've done. And, you know, I have friends that own their own businesses and that also play at Ivy League schools and basketball, stuff like that. So I would tell them to surround yourself around the people that will help you and benefit you, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I would tell myself two things, and they kind of go hand in hand. The overarching thing I would say is to think long term. I think a lot of times as like young people, we don't have foresight or like think about, you know, the decisions that we make and how they can affect where you end up. I grew up in, you know, the DMV area, and a lot of my friends that I grew up with, I don't really see anymore because of some of their decisions or, you know, where life took them. And I've been blessed with parents and people in my corner that have helped me make the right decisions and put me on track to have long-term success or whatever I want to do. So, yeah, the first thing would be to think long-term. And with that, I would say that everything matters. I think, you know, one thing Coach says a lot is, like, the way you do something is the way you do everything. And, like, understanding that, like, waking up and cleaning your room or making your bed or, you know, making sure you address people the right way or just all the little things that go into being a good person and having success is what ends up getting you to whatever your long-term goal is. So, yeah, I would tell myself those two things.
I love that.
How about you, Coach?
Well, I'll give it a little bit more context to kind of like my background. Single family home. Mom was a grocery clerk. Probably at a max, she made $30,000. The most she probably made in a year. Grew up in Washington, D.C. when it was the murder capital of the world. I had 4 of my friends that lived 50 yards or closer to me all die before they were 20 through gun violence or other kind of violence in the city. And a couple things for me. One was that I didn't surround myself with people that didn't have the same thought process or the same goals and dreams that I had. So I had to seek those people out. I had to seek out mentors. And for me, and this is so awesome to be here, those mentors were in the rec centers because I didn't have those other kind of resources in my community. So I was a rec center kid. I went to the rec every day, 5 days a week. And that's why I got a mean, wicked ping pong game now. I can, you know, but it really, I think, groomed me and helped me and shaped who I am. You know, so finding mentors, and even if those mentors are at rec facilities or boys and girls clubs or your local church or, you know, maybe someone in the neighborhood that can guide and give you, you know, some good information and knowledge to help you continue to move forward. My second bit of advice is just never stop. You know, I've hit the road and had challenges many days, but I never stopped because I always dreamed and had goals of something that was bigger than the reality that I was actually living in. And so, you know, it still pushes me to this day to continue to fight through adversity, fight through challenges, fight through all the different, you know, things that life brings us. So it's trying to keep one foot in front of the other and keep those feet moving daily.
Yeah. I was very, very blessed to have two parents in my house, right? My father worked. My mother was with us. She worked in her father's office too, but was there. And I had a lot of tough discipline in my house, right? I always say that I had everything I needed. Sure, didn't get everything I wanted, but I had everything I needed. And my mother was a disciplinarian in the house, and she had a saying, "Look, I'll turn this place out. I don't care what these people think." So you could be in the supermarket, you could be anywhere. You act up, you gonna feel the wrath of Barbara Crear. Ain't no doubt about that. And so I think that helped me to become the person I am now. That's prepared me to come into this. And I agree with Coach when you say that if you don't have that environment, you have to find that environment, right? You have to do everything you can to find that environment, to find that good mentor and people who would care about you, because people are out there, right? They care about you, and it does take a village. Even though I had that in my house, I had so many other people that we spent time with, and but this was back in the day where if you went to somebody else's house, y'all don't know about this. You went to somebody else's house and acted up. Oh, you gonna get it. You gonna get it there, and then when you got home, it was, why you going over there embarrassing me? And so the Williams house over there. You got it when you got home. So you better, there was no like, let's talk about it. There was no time out back in the day when I grew up. It was swing first, hit first, and then we'll have a conversation afterwards.
Absolutely.
Coach, you know what I'm talking about.
Go get the switch.
Yeah, you go get your own switch and bring it back. And so it was a different environment, but we need some tough love going on. And I love the fact that Coach instills in y'all in the team about having respect for yourselves, respect for others, respect for women, because that carries over into real life and real world experiences. So the good thing is we got people like you, Priscilla, who care about our youth too. This isn't just a job for you. This is something that is ingrained within you. You've been put on this earth and this planet to do what you are doing, and we need more people like you to do that. And so I pray for you every day and pray for your success, and glad that you are here to mentor these young kids, because they need it. As Coach said, you go to rec center, sometimes that's all you got.
Yeah, that's true. I always look back now, a little bit about me. I grew up not that far from here, and you guys don't know the demographic in the locations, but the facility down the street, it was too expensive. My parents couldn't afford, so we would walk through and use the vending machines after school and then continue to cross like major streets to get home. And I got into Parks and Rec where the outreach had gone into the middle schools, and they started pulling kids, and it was free back then, those of us who couldn't afford it, that were at the middle school sites. And as my career evolved, I actually ended up managing the facility that I would walk through to use the vending machine at. And some of the same people who pulled me in back then, I didn't know. My dad is Black, my mom is Hispanic. I was born in Costa Rica. I knew nothing about college. They helped me fill out applications, FAFSA. They got me through. And so now to be here, and this facility in particular reconnected me to where I started in Parks and Rec, because most of the kids who come into our building, their parents would not be able to afford it if we charged them to come in here. And I just think about like the footprint of everybody who bailed out kids like me back then. And some of my closest friends I've met in rec centers. I've been able to go on to do work with our national organization, and I've been our state president, but none of that would have happened without someone in a community center who took the time to like drag me in. And I say all the time, I could have ended up on the other side. So, I mean, I love Parks and Rec, so I totally can.
Saved my life.
Yep.
Yeah. How about every day you get to come in and pay it forward too?
Oh, yes.
And see the results of your work every single day.
Oh, yes.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely. I mean, we do things, and Philip, who's on our team, he was paying out of pocket for all the young men to get their hairs cut. And I'm like, this is not long-term sustainable. But for young men, you take them to a barbershop, they get a clean cut. Like, it does something to their self-esteem. And you can't just get one haircut and you're done for life. Like, carry on. So we actually built a partnership with a barbershop that now routinely cuts the hair of the kids in the program. So, and it's so rewarding just to see, like, when they come out of the chair, like, he's like, oh, I got all my designs. And it's just and most people would think, like, that's not really like a lifelong skill, but when you work with kids on a day-to-day basis, it makes a big impact.
That's great.
So.
How amazing has this been? Thank y'all so much for being here, Coach, for bringing the team here. Fellas, thanks y'all for being here. This has really been outstanding. Appreciate your time. Good luck tomorrow and on Sunday. I'll be there rooting you on, and just excited that y'all are here. Thank y'all. Thank you, Priscilla, also for opening up the Becker Tech Recreational Center for us with this amazing podcast center, the DJ booth, the esports tournament, the 3D printing facility, everything. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you guys all for spending the day with us. So we're super excited.
Thanks for having us. This has been unbelievable.